The following deck tag is brought to you by Dragon's Shield, the best sleeves in the business, and of course also thank you CARDMARKET. Check out the link in the description below if you wanna try out CARDMARKET for the first time in Europe. Buy yourself a booster or get some free singles. Just check it out in the description below how you can contact me. It's time again to put a famous legacy deck in our blender and make a cool, fun budget version about it. Let's do casual Smokestack around this artifact. 4 mana, it's an artifact, and during your upkeep you may put a suit counter on the Smokestack. And during each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a permanent for each suit counter on the Smokestack. Interesting card. Let's see what we build around it. We will play it with Tegrit, God of Fright. So when your opponent will sacrifice permanents, you will get them under your control. And when your opponent can't play anything anymore because of the Smokestack, you will even get its discarded cards. Another card that is great with the Smokestack is the Murderous Redcap, because when it dies it comes back. Glissa Sunslayer can remove counters from the Smokestack, so both cards are great in a combo with the artifact. So our purpose is getting a lot of permanents on the battlefield, like Sprouting Trinax, because when this one dies it creates 3 green Saproling tokens. More Saproling tokens for Slimefoot and Squee, both 2 great cards in our Smokestack deck. So let's have a look which other creatures we play. Underseller Myconid creates a Saproling when it enters the battlefield or dies, and it also gives us mana of any color. Of course we play Sprouting Trinax, 2 copy of this lizard that when it dies it creates 3 Saproling creatures. Creatures that we can sacrifice to our Smokestack. And another great one that does the same is this Mitotic Slime. It leaves behind a lot more slime. We also play some value creatures like the Circuit Mender that gains us some life and draws us a card when it dies. And of course we also play Murderous Redcap. This one has Persist, so when it dies and it has no counters on it, it comes back. And when it enters the battlefield it also deals damage equal to its power. Another great value creature is of course Solemn Simulacrum. When it enters the battlefield, let's search your library for a basic land, put it into play tapped, and when it dies we draw a card. Now we play more creatures that come back. Squee Goblin Nabob comes back at the beginning of your upkeep when it's in your graveyard. Great and fun card. Of course we already mentioned Slimefoot and Squee, a fungus goblin that creates more Saproling tokens. Do you have lands in the graveyard? No problem. Perennial Behemoth helps you play them from your graveyard, and Cult Conscript you can play over and over again as long as other creatures die, but that will happen a lot. Sometimes you want to destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, or put an extra counter on Smokestack. This Canker Bloom is the great card for that, and Ignoble Hierarch lets you ramp into your Smokestack. Also Scavenging Ooze is great to clear out the graveyard of your opponent and make a big ooze. And what is this, Victoria? It's Gala Greeters, a great card that makes a treasures token that you can sack. And the next card we talked about, Glissa Sunslayer. Great, it can draw you extra cards and also remove counters from the Smokestack. Now any deck that interacts with the graveyard likes a Eternal Witness in its list, and we talked already about Turgid, God of Fright, amazing combo with the Smokestack. I wouldn't play the Lantern, but oh, for the heck of it we will show it anyway. Now the purpose of this deck is keep on playing permanents, and Oversold Cemetery will help us with that. Every turn we will get a creature back. Rancor is a great enchantment that you can also play again and again and again. We also play a copy of Transmogrant Crown. Whenever an equipped creature dies, you can draw a card and you can equip it for 1. Riveteer's Ascendancy, another great card that lets us get back creatures that are sacrificed, and Ulvenwald Mystery creates a lot of permanents, and that's exactly what we want in this deck. Now we also need to include some removal, some spot removal. We play a copy of Dreadbore for creatures or planeswalkers. We also play a instant called Terminate, just a solid 2 mana removal spell. Another 2 mana removal spell is Abrade, that can also deal with your own Smokestack. And last but not least, Drown in Ichor. It has Proliferate, so you can add another copy to your Smokestack. Now we also play in black and green Maelstrom Pulse. It can deal with everything. Of course, we play 4 copies of the Smokestack, our key combo artifact in this deck. And the last removal spell is a Tear Asunder. Remove your Smokestack or just a non-land permanent. Now let's look at the lands in this deck. We play 3 colors, so only 1 mountain, 4 swamps and 4 forests. Savage Lands is our 3 color tri-land, and for the fixing with black and red we play Sulphurous Springs and also a copy of the Smoldering March. For the black-green combination we play the Temple of Malady and Cinderglade for red and green. Now for black and green we also play a Woodland Cemetery that combos well with the Glade. We need lands that we can play over and over again, and Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds are great. Other great lands that interact with the graveyard are Drownyard Temple, Ghost Quarters, great for killing other important lands, God's Eye, Gate to the Rekai, leaves behind a spirit, and Dunes of the Dead leaves behind a zombie. Kalimni Garden is also 2 for 1 because it creates a plant creature token, and the Kirkkeep creates a lot of kobolds. Finishing your opponent in old school fashion you can do with Mishra's Factory, or a little bit newer, the Mishra's Foundry. Now this deck you can play for under $50. Put in the comments below which other epic Magic the Gathering deck you want to see me put into my blender and turn into a casual budget brew. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep it casual.